You're listening to the One Man Show Network. Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey kids, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Weinbaum, and today I will be picking the fights for UFC 248 in Vegas. I'm super excited. I'm going to be in Vegas, but not at the fights, so bummer. If you're on YouTube Live or you are on the Periscope, feel free to help me pick some fights. I will be trying to partake in some pre-fight festivities. Hopefully I can make the open workout. If I get there on time, this is depending. I have a fairly ill father-in-law. I think he's okay. It's not critical or anything like that, but I'm trying to get to Vegas on Tuesday. So if there's any MMA Fight Pick fans or Iaquinta Realty, Not Coker, or Dana Unleash fans, I am going to be trying to see Adam Hunter at the Strat on Tuesday. Love to see you out there. I'll be with my wife. Hopefully this all works out. But let's get to the fights, man. Adesanya versus Romero. You know, the big question here for me is, Romero going to make weight? I surely hope so. I'm not going to lie and tell you that's not a worry of mine, but well, it is what it is, man. UFC Middleweight Championship on the line. Let's get to some fights. First off, Gerald Meerschaert versus Deron Winn. Gerald, of course, a fan of the Iaquinta Realty Group. Twitter, it's not a group. It's not the actual. It is my Twitter parody account. My bad. So sorry, Gerald, if I muffed that up there. He last fought to a split decision loss to Eric Anders. Before that, he beats Trevin Giles by a sweet little submission guillotine choke. 2 losses before that, Kevin Holland, Jack Hermanson. Let's take a look at Deron Winn. You know, just lost in the UFC to Darren Stewart. Before that, he's got a win over Eric Spicely. Filthy Tom Lawler in Golden Boy MMA. I don't know. That was a decision as well. I like, not just because he's a fan of the Iaquinta account, obviously, but I like Gerald in this fight. I like he's certainly fought more UFC top caliber opponents, and I'm going to pick him to win this fight. Next up, Cowboy Alex Oliveira versus Max Payne Griffin. Man, let's take a look at Cowboy Oliveira first. All of a sudden, 3 losses in a row. Nicholas Dalby, Mike Perry, Gunnar Nelson, where he got submitted. Then you have Max Payne Griffin, who I want to say he didn't fight that long ago, but I guess it was October. I guess that was a while ago. Losses to Alex Morano, wins against Zelim Imadev. Did lose to Thiago Alves. I don't think that was a loss. I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't a loss. I thought he won that fight. Loses to Curtis Millender, but he does have a win over Mike Perry. Man, this is tough. If you want to go, strength of schedule here, certainly think Cowboy fits the bill. If you do MMA math, Cowboy loses to Mike Perry. Max Griffin wins against Mike Perry. But I honestly think that, man, this is tough. This is a tough one to pick here. So if anyone is watching, feel free to help me. But I want to say, man, I don't know what the odds are in this fight, but I certainly wouldn't bet on it. But I do want to think, I seem to think that Alex Oliveira is going to win this fight. Next up, Neil Magny against Li Jingliang. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but in my mind, I'm saying it perfectly. All right. Taking a look at Neil Magny. Just lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio. Hasn't fought in, 2 years almost. No, sorry, year and a half-ish. Sorry, this is the year 2020. My bad. But does hold wins over Craig White, Collar's Condit. Before that, he loses to Rafael dos Anjos. That's way back in 2017. Who cares about 2017, all right? Lee, one more time. Jingliang. Let's take a look here. 3 wins in a row. Not the top caliber type guys. Elijah Zaleski dos Santos. That was a pretty sweet win. I do remember watching that. Let's take a look, though. David Zawada. Diaki Abe. Lost to Jake Matthews. But he does have a lot of wins. But I want to say for getting up there, top caliber wins, he's had some time to rest. I'm going to go in, which is probably an upset here. I'm going to go with the great Neil Magny. How about that? Next up, Beneil Dariush against Drakkar Klose. I wonder how he smells. Does he smell like Drakkar? Okay, terrible joke. Benny Dariush, all of a sudden, 3 wins in a row. He hasn't lost since he got surprisingly stopped by Alexander Hernandez, who turned out to be no joke. But wins. Frank Camacho, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises. Before that, had a bit of a stretch of bad luck. But I'm going to go off of what's happened with him recently versus what happened before all that. Drakkar Klose. Let's take a look at him. Also 3 wins in a row. Christos Giagos, Bobby Green, Lando Venata. Hasn't lost since David Tumir back in 2017. Man, I'm going to go strength of schedule here. I'm going to go with the caliber of guys he's fought here. I think Benny is one of the most underrated fighters in the lightweight division just because of kind of some of the losses he's taken. But he's been coming back strong, fighting those top guys, Camacho, Dober. I think they're just a little bit higher caliber than the guys Drakkar has fought. So, Benny, for the W. And maybe he gets back in there in the conversation in that lightweight division. We'll see. I know my guy, Ally Quinta's going to need to fight soon. Possibly Makhachev. We'll see what's going to happen with that. But I like the fact that the division once again is opening up, with possible matchups. It's not just a big logjam with Conor and Khabib and Ferguson and Gaethje. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Co-main event, 5 rounds for the women's strawweight championship. Joannna, wannabe champion Jedrzejczyk versus current champion Weili Zhang. So let's take a look here. Weili Zhang, nothing but green. Wins. Hasn't lost since 2013. Take a look at the last 3 for the title. Jessica Andrade. Before that, beats Tisha Torres, Jessica Aguilar, Danielle Taylor. Wins. Nothing but wins. Joannna beats anyone that's not named Rose Namajunas. She did go up a weight class to fight Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight championship. Did not get it done there, but, I think she's just a bit undersized. I mean, look what Valentina does in that division. So she did hang with her for 5 rounds. She just didn't win. Did just beat Michelle Watterson. I thought she did very well. And, if that was Michelle's time to shine, it was then. But, like I said, Joannna champion. Weili Zhang, not to bring up the whole coronavirus thing, but she's had to do some strenuous travel to kind of avoid some of those quarantines. So I don't know where she is right now. I don't know what this weight cut is like. So this is a very, very interesting scenario here. But you never know. I do. Oh man, how do you pick against Joannna though? I don't. She's living in America now. She trains with the American Top Team, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. She's still with them. And I think she's going to get her done and become the new strawweight champion. So how about that? Next up, the main event of the evening, Israel Adesanya versus the great Yoel Romero. Is this Yoel's time? Is Yoel going to make weight? This is, man, 3 times he hasn't made weight, okay? It's kind of crazy. I'm going to look here. I'm going to see if it says for sure. I know he did not make weight against Robert Whittaker in their championship fight. He did make weight against, Paulo Costa, lost that decision. That was a close one, though. 3 times he hasn't made weight. Okay? Is Yoel going to make weight? This is, man, 3 times he hasn't made weight. Okay? It's kind of crazy. I'm going to look here. I'm going to see if it says for sure. I know he did not make weight against Robert Whittaker in their championship fight. He did make weight against Paulo Costa, lost that decision. That was a close one, though. Yeah, Luke Rockhold, that was supposed to be for the interim belt, didn't make weight. So this will be a third attempt at the middleweight belt that I see. Now, preceding Figueiredo and Benavidez, Figueiredo didn't make weight, won the fight. I hate that. Benavidez had to fight a guy that was heavier. He had to win to get the belt. If he lost, nothing happens with the belt at the flyweight. It's still vacated. So I don't know if I take this fight if Romero doesn't make weight. What's the upside here? Yeah, you'll still be champion. That belt won't be vacated because it is, it is undisputed that Israel is the champion. But this is difficult. I don't know. I don't take that fight if I'm Israel Adesanya if Yoel does not make weight. Okay? No point, no upside, because these fights with Yoel are nasty. Now, what are the keys to victory here for Israel Adesanya? Obviously, avoid the takedown. Obviously, avoid his Yoel's unorthodox boxing style, those weird looping punches, his explosiveness. How do you do that? Distance. You keep him at bay with punches and kicks. Make him think twice about that takedown. Make him think twice about lunging in. And, obviously, Adesanya, the more dynamic of the strikers. But Yoel's no slouch either. I've not picked, this is not my official pick yet, but I don't think I picked Adesanya to win yet. And he has surprised me every time. Let's take a look at the list of killers, starting with Brad Tavares, okay? I picked Brad. I thought Brad would out-wrestle him. I thought Derek would do everything better. Derek Brunson. I thought Anderson Silva, was just a bit more experienced, just a bit more cagey. Kelvin Gastelum, he was a round away from winning that fight, but Adesanya dug deep. And then, of course, Robert Whittaker, round 2, dispatches him. Now let's take a look at Yoel. Maybe he won against Paulo Costa. Maybe he didn't. But forever the record books say he did not. Did lose to Robert Whittaker. Beat the brakes off of Luke Rockhold and sent him to the lightweight division. But, he's got some impressive wins. Chris Weidman, a split decision against Jacare Souza. KO'd Lyoto Machida, Tim Kennedy. This is 2015, 2014. But Israel Adesanya, who didn't have to take this fight. Israel Adesanya, who just wants to fight the toughest guys in the division and get it over with. Why take this fight with your Yoel Romero? Costa's hurt. Costa was the guy. Costa could not answer the bell. Torn bicep. Whatever. Let's pick the next toughest guy. Yoel Romero. Why not? Okay? The guy can fight. The guy can dance. Clearly. But this is the one and only time I am not going to pick against. I don't want to say it's the only time. I'm not going to pick against Israel Adesanya. I like him in this fight. I like him for a lot of reasons. I think the fistness thing will play in. Fistness, baby. I trademarked it. Kicks and punches will decide this fight. He's not going to try to wrestle with Yoel. We'll see what happens, though, if Yoel can get him on his back. Can Israel get back up? I think he's probably been training super hard for this fight to avoid that very situation. All right, that's it. I think we picked him. MMA Fight Picks UFC 247. If there are no questions, no chime-ins, no whatevers, I am going to end this. And if you're in Vegas, hopefully I'll run into some of you there. Fight week, baby. I wish I could stay for the fights on Saturday. I got some kids wrestling trying to qualify for state. I got to be home for that. I got to be dad first. So until next time, Aaron Weinbaum, MMA Fight Picks Podcast. Shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.